Okay, work story problems. So what typically happens, the setup is somebody is completing one task in a certain amount of time. Let's call that person John. Then there's somebody else completing the exact same task. Now this is all theoretical because anyway, and that person's name might be Paula. All right. What they want to know is if those two work together to do that exact same task, how much time would it take together if they work together? All right, that's the together time. So let's do a setup. John can harvest a field in 8 hours. So 1 over A, in this case, one task in 8 hours. Wilbur can harvest the same field in 12 hours. So one task in 12 hours. And what they want to know is how long it will take them together completing that one task. So we give X is their together or combined time. So the setup, one task in a certain amount of time plus one task, somebody else's task in a certain amount of time equals one task, X as the amount of time that we're looking for. So remember, on the left side, we have two fractions being added together. Well, fractions, in order to be added together, need to have the same denominator. And you could take the time to find the least common multiple, but the more advanced you get in mathematics, typically we just multiply the opposite denominator. So I'm going to multiply 12 over 12 times 1/8. Remember, 12 over 12 is 1. We're not changing the value of 1/8. We're just changing what it looks like. And on the other side, the opposite denominator to 12 is 8. So we're going to multiply this one top and bottom by 8. Notice we're not changing the value. That's why we don't have to multiply the other side by anything. We're just multiplying 1/8 times 1 and 1/12 times 1. And so when we do that, well, 12 times 1, this becomes 12. 8 times 1, this becomes 8. 12 times 8, these both now share 96 as the denominator. So 12 plus 8 over 96, which, if you're counting, is 20 over 96, is equal to 1 over x. And remember, when a fraction is equal to a fraction, but the variable's in the denominator, you could cross multiply. One other trick that some of us like to do is, because when you simplify cross multiplying, this is what happens. You can invert both sides. So this would be x, or x over 1, over 96 over 20. And then it's just a calculator or long division. So we have 96 divide 20 is equal to x. Well, 96 divide 20 is 4.8. And it's wanting to know the time. So x is equal to 4.8. But I don't know exactly what 4.8 hours is. So if you want to know how many minutes the 0.8 hours is, just multiply 0.8 times 60. So 0.8 or 0.8 times 60 is 48 minutes. So working together, it takes them 4 hours and 48 minutes. But the setup of it, these are not too difficult. So the next example is when we know the together working time, and we need to find one of the individuals' time. So this tells us Amanda and Shayna can tar a roof in 4.24 hours. So this is the time it takes them working together. Had she done it alone, it would have taken Shayna. So I'm going to call this one Amanda, this Shayna, and Shayna's time is 8 hours. Well, what we're going to want to do is get this by itself. So one easy way to do that is just subtract 1/8 both sides. And then notice what you have going on the right side, because this cancels out. You now have a fraction subtract a fraction. So we're going to multiply top and bottom by opposite denominators. And I think I probably should. Oh. Well, I'll just leave that like that. So now we have 1 over x is equal to 8 subtract 4.24 over 8 times 4.24 is 3392. And when you subtract the 8, so 1 over x is equal to 3.76. Doing that in my head, so I probably should double check that. 8 subtract 4.24, yes, 3.76. And now we have a fraction equal to a fraction with the denominator, with the variable in the denominator. So we're going to flip both sides. So that's x, or x over 1. The 1 can be invisible. And now we have 33.92 divided by 3.76. And we get 9.02. And I'm going to say that most people are going to let you say that x is about 9 hours. But in case they want to know the minutes, you just take 0.02 times 60, which is going to be just a little over a minute, I think. 0.02 times 60. Yeah. Oh, yeah, a little over a minute. So about 9 hours and 1 minute, which about 9 hours, if you're in my class, would be close enough. All right, that's it for work problems.